in our patient population. So we are the ones that's doing that. We are the ones that's helping the revenue come into the facilities. We are the ones that's making sure that our providers are getting paid fairly for the things that they provide to their patients. So it's definitely a rewarding career because we definitely are important. We are an important piece to this puzzle, and we play a role that is very much under the radar, but very much needed in our healthcare system. So we definitely have to have a passion and a love for what we do. And I did not realize how much I was going to fall in love with being a medical coder. I wish I would have known about this profession a lot sooner than what I did because I know that I will be so much further in my career had I known that. I am grateful that I ended up here and I am where I'm at. And I have met so many amazing people. I have worked with and for so many amazing providers and so many amazing revenue cycle management teams. I've met a lot of people, and I just can't say enough that it's just taking me places that I didn't even know that I wanted to go. It's giving me an outlet to be able to talk to you guys out here and to expose you to medical coding of healthcare, to expose you to this world of healthcare.
How are
So
you?
I'm very grateful for my career. I'm very grateful for this
I'm
profession.
studying
And
medical
if
coding.
anyone asks me if they should become a medical coder, and I would definitely say if that's your passion, if you feel like you can make a difference, if you truly feel like what you do is important, you would definitely make an excellent medical coder, and you very much should go for this profession. It's not easy, it's not simple, it's not common, but it's definitely worth it. So that is
Thank you.
my spiel of the 7 things that I wish I knew before becoming a medical coder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really would be interested to hear some of your guys' take on what did you wish you would have known
Thank
before you
you.
became a medical coder. I haven't asked a question in my videos in a long time.
Good day, Chris. Thank you. I'm researching medical coding.
Landing your first medical coding position can be a little bit challenging.
Yes, ask me anything. Hi, Ram. Hi, AP.
Trouble landing your first medical coding job, or if you are in the midst of being credentialed or out there looking for a medical coding job, and you just want to hear some tips on how you can possibly increase your chances on landing that first medical coding job, then I want you to keep watching. So, what's up, everyone? In this video, I am going to share with you my thoughts on some things that you can do after you have been credentialed to try to increase your chances to land your first medical coding job. So, one of the things that I
Anish,
always hear from a lot of newly credentialed students is
I'm
that
studying
they
medical
have,
coding.
had their credentials, some fairly recently, some for a long time, but it was very hard for them to find a medical coding job. And so they are really frustrated because they take the time to study, invested in themselves, mentally, physically, financially, took their time away from their family, their friends in order to study, to, gain this skill. But every time they go out there to apply for a job, the criteria is always they want someone with 2+ years of experience for an entry level medical coding,
Thank you, Anwar.
position. So I have recorded a series that I entitled Before, During, and After to try to help alleviate some of that frustration for newly credentialed medical coding. One of the things that you
Take
have
care.
to do as a medical coder or a newly credentialed medical coder with no experience
Thank
is
you.
to make sure that you have a fairly solid job search strategy. You
Yeah, it's
can't
looking good today.
go into this career field expecting to land your first job straight out of school without any experience. Unfortunately, that's not how our industry works. So you have to make sure that you understand the industry that you're getting into before you take the plunge and the investment into this field. And these videos are my attempt to help to
I am.
expose you to, the realities of the
Persian.
job search after you become credentialed. So if you haven't watched the first two videos, I would definitely link them in the cards, and I will suggest that you watch those videos in order, because it makes sense. But definitely after you watch this video, go back and take a look at those videos, and hopefully you can gain some tips. So this video is solely going to be about after this. After you have been credentialed, what is your next step? So in one of the previous videos, I talked about while you're in school for medical coding to try to land you a job, a position in the healthcare system, pretty much any position that you can find, preferably something in the revenue cycle, preferably a medical billing. So if you have landed a medical billing job, that's great. That will make your next steps a lot easier. If you have landed a job in a revenue cycle, that's also awesome. That will help make the next steps a lot easier. So the first thing that I would suggest you do is craft a great resume. So and optimize it. So in your resume, you are building a resume that is needs to hit a recruiter's desk, needs to catch the recruiter's attention for medical coding. The recruiter is definitely going to be looking for certain skill sets that medical coders are required to possess. The obvious is, a certification from an accredited school, preferably an APC or a HEMA. They also look to see that you are well versed in the different code sets, ICD-10, TPT, and HIT code. So you want to highlight that on your resume. You want to highlight where you received your medical coding credential. You want to highlight also that you are experienced in code sets. If you have a medical billing experience or revenue cycle experience, highlight any billing software that you have, experienced in, whether it's Epic, whether it's Allscripts, whether it's 3M, Cerner, or something a lot more simpler like Simple Practice, Therapy Notes, Theranos, Trivio, anything like that. Even some clearinghouses, maybe a great, way to start, like Office Ally. So any kind of billing software that you have experience with, definitely notate that in your um, in your resume. Also, highlight any transferable skills that is relevant to medical coding. when you're out there looking for medical coding jobs, you will see in the description some things that they're will possess. Some skills that will be mentioned or most commonly mentioned are organizational skills. They are, as a medical coder, you have to be highly organized. You have to be able to organize your claims or your work queues, maybe by insurance companies, maybe by specialties. So you need to be highly organized. They may also request that the ideal candidate have great research skills. You're going to have to research certain things, maybe certain procedures, maybe certain diagnoses, maybe certain payers. You will have to be able to identify and research some things in the medical sector that may, be unfamiliar or new to you. You also have to be able to be good with meeting deadlines and working, under, high pressure situations. I know in my facility, we deal with month end a lot. We are required to have most, if not all of our charges in by the end of the month. And so we do have deadlines, that we have to adhere to. Some organizations require that you have a turnaround time of maybe 3 days or 5 days or 48 hours. So you should express in your resume any jobs that you had to meet certain deadlines that will definitely land on a recruiter's eyes that you have experience and you're comfortable working with deadlines. Speaking of deadlines, you have to have a skill of being able to prioritize things. We deal with a lot of timely, filing issues, a lot of sensitive emails that, some people need to answer fairly quickly. Some departments I could think of is like pre-authorization, trying to get a procedure, approved. They need, and the patient's appointment is coming up fairly quickly. They may need you to prioritize that email above your other work queues, even though it may throw you off of your work day, but you have to be able to, critically think and be able to know what situation needs to be prioritized over others. If you are, you know, if you are in a situation like that, you have to be able to make the executive decision on what needs your priority and what to, go by the wayside. Another skill that may be asked for, maybe desired, is great communication skills. A lot of our job, even though we don't talk to insurance companies, but we do communicate with other departments quite a bit and with each other. Coders bounce things off of each other because we are all at different levels in our careers. Some coders are way more seasoned than others. Some coders see a lot more procedures done than others. Some coders see a lot more immunizations than others. We are not expected to remember everything, but we do have a team around us that we can bounce, questions off of or scenarios off of. So you have to be able to learn how to communicate with each other well and respectfully. Not only with other coders, but also with providers. Your role as a medical coder is as an expert in coding and billing. So you are the expert and you will be required sometimes to educate your providers on, maybe different updates that have occurred. Maybe a provider has, forgotten how to bill something properly and you may have to educate them on, how they need to report certain things. Maybe their documentation could be a bit better. It could be a bit more clearer. You will inquire or send inquiries to your provider's office to get clarity on some medical records. Maybe something is missing or something is just not clear or some information conflicts in the medical record. You will have to contact providers to ask for, additional information. So you have to be able to have great communication skills. Not only that, as a coder, you will also have to, talk to the billers, talk to the charge posters, the payment posting department, maybe talk to medical records. You will have to probably help craft an appeal of some sort. So you need to have great communication skills. So all those, although they may seem like, cliche, but they are very important skills that medical coders must possess in order to be successful in this position. So with that being said, highlighting those skills is a big opportunity for you to play up your ability to, fit
Hi,
into the
Jonathan.
environment for, medical coding. Also, in your resume optimization, highlight your relevant education. So, a lot of us have gone to college. A lot of us have had, additional like training, maybe medical transcriptionist or, CNA training, nursing. Highlight your education because even though it may not be medical coding per se, it's all relevant in healthcare. If you have, college level education, that is definitely speaks to your ability to, learn and to be able to, understand how to retain information on a higher academic level, higher than high school or GED level. If you have that education, if you don't, that's fine too because you don't need college in order to be a medical coder. But it is a relevant skill, a relevant education that you should highlight on your resume. So next, after you get your resume all optimized, I would suggest that you apply for any job. So if you haven't yet landed like a medical billing job or some kind of position in the revenue cycle, apply for any job like in a hospital, in a clinic, in a doctor's office, in an insurance company that will at least get your foot in the door and the gain experience. As a newly credentialed medical coder, I know your personal priority would be to land a medical coding position, but to facilities and to hiring managers, their priority is to hire a medical coder with experience. So your priority should be to gain medical coding experience or gain some experience that could be related to medical coding. So apply for any job that makes sense, that will advance you so that you can level up to be a medical coder. So apply for any job. Again, some suggestions. If you haven't already, landed a medical billing job, medical biller would be great. Scheduling, healthcare customer service, medical records, payment posting, something in data entry in the medical coding department or the medical billing department. There's so many different positions that you can find, in the medical coding field. I would just like go on job boards and maybe type in medical billing, type in revenue cycle management, type in charge posting and healthcare. Front desk worker would be great. Anything in the medical office would be great for you to gain experience and exposure to the medical field. So keep that in mind. Apply for any job. And on the same vein of that, my next tip would say to be open. Again, I know your personal goal is to land a medical coding job, but to an employer, their personal goal is to hire someone with experience. Unfortunately, we cannot change that. That's just the way of this industry. It sucks, but it just is what it is. So you have to be open to talk to, a lot of recruiters, to talk to a lot of, hiring managers, and be open to the opportunities that come at you. The opportunity that you may get may not be your ideal coding position, but it may be the first step that you can take to get into that position. So make sure that you keep an open mind now. Make sure you ask a lot of questions. If you do get an opportunity to interview, if you do get an opportunity to discuss with a hiring manager or a recruiter, and you say, you don't, the situation don't pan out as you expected, ask questions. What can you do to improve your chances in the future? And, make sure that you take notes and be able to receive that feedback so that you can improve your skill set and improve your chances to, land that position the next time that you apply. So my next suggestion would be, as always, to network. Our industry is a huge, huge proponent of networking. We have chapter meetings that, gives you the opportunity to network. We have conferences that gives you the opportunity to network. There are so many Facebook
Hi,
groups, there's so many
Pandion.
LinkedIn groups that's, geared towards medical coding and medical billing. All of that garners
I'm
an environment for
studying
networking. You have to network. Network with other
medical
coders,
billing.
network with other billers. You never know who holds the key or the link to your next opportunity. So make sure you
Where are you
network. Let
from?
people know that you have been credentialed in medical coding. Let people know that you are looking for a medical coding job. Let people know that you would like an opportunity to just gain some
I'm
experience
in
in medical
Texas.
coding. Let people know that you're out here. Put yourself out there and network. Talk to as many people as you can about the industry, and so, you, like I said,
India.
you never know. You may talk yourself up into an opportunity. So, make sure you network. Make sure you utilize any opportunity to attend your chapter meeting through AAPC or HEMA. If you have the opportunity to go to any of the conferences, make sure you attend the conferences. Try
Thank
to
you.
see if there's any meetups in your area with medical coders. Any insurance, sometimes insurances have like webinars and seminars that's geared towards medical coding and billing. Utilize all of that. Um, and my next tip would be to get a mentor. If you are a member of AAPC, they do have an opportunity on their website for a mentee to be connected to a mentor. That's the easiest way that you can find you a medical billing or medical coding mentor. But you don't necessarily have to use the AAPC website. You can reach out to, other coders and other billers that have been doing this for a while and see if they are able to, connect with you and to help, guide you along the way. Of course, they're not going to have all the answers, but they do have experience. And a lot of us love to share, how to get into the industry. A lot of us like to share our knowledge. So make sure that you gain a mentor to help guide you through, this great maze of medical coding. There's so many career paths that you can take. There's so many opportunities that you can, utilize, that you can open yourself up to if you just find someone with a little bit more knowledge and experience than you, and just garner advice from them. So find you a mentor. Last but not least, the last thing I would suggest that you do after you become fully credentialed and you're out here in the job market and you're looking, trying to, figure out how to get a job. And even though you may not have a job, and this may sound counterintuitive to everything, but I do suggest this because I truly, truly feel like if you don't know the ending, you will never know how to go about the path to get there. So I would suggest you plan out your entire career path. Plan out ultimately what do you want from this field. There's so many opportunities. There's so many career paths, like I mentioned earlier, that you can take to ultimately make the amount of money that you desire to make. Some of us want to, be employed and remain a, employee and have a career and retire from medical coding. Some of us want to have our own business and, branch out in that way. So it's so many different paths that you can take. HEMA has a great career map that I always suggest that every coder and every biller should go and Google and look at, and it will help you to decide what you may be interested in. Also, if you're on AAPC's website, look at all the different credentials that they have to offer, and choose, ultimately what do you want to do, with this coding career. Do you want to just continue to be a coder? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You could be a coder and, move up in the ranks that way. You can specialize in a certain specialty. You can gain more credentials, get a credential in a different specialty. You can branch off into other areas of the revenue cycle. You can be in denials management. You can be in documentation. You can be an auditor. You can be a director. You can be an entrepreneur and have your own medical billing and coding business, your own medical consulting company. So check out any of those career paths that you may want to go on, and that way it will help you to plan out your career. It will also get you excited about the opportunities that exist in medical coding, and it'll probably make you go harder in your job search. So all I wanted to share with you. I hope you have enjoyed this series on before, during, and after. What's up, everybody? So, welcome back to this series that is entitled
What's
Before,
up?
During, and After. During this series, I am giving my 2 cents advice on how to break into the medical coding field and what I feel like you should do, or what I would have done if I can go back before I became credentialed, during me studying to become a medical coder, and after I became credentialed. So if you haven't seen the first video of the before, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the card somewhere up here. I'll link it down below. But you should watch that video if you aren't already in school and you're trying to research what school you should go to or how to pick good schools. Just things that you should do before you become a medical coder, or before you settle on a school to become a medical coder. So this is part two. This is the second video, and this is the during stage of medical coding, studying for your medical coding. So while you're in school, so if you are someone that is currently enrolled in a medical coding school and you wondering what can you do to increase your chances of obtaining a job once you become credentialed, then this video is for you. So I would suggest you keep watching. You are watching this video probably because you are in school and you want to make sure that you are doing as many things as you can to ensure that once you become credentialed, that you will be able to, obtain your first medical coding job once you get that notification that you passed your exam. I'm working, by the way, which is why